host, Danny Royce. I'm joined by my bro. What's good, Pauly?
What's up?
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining your favorite scare experts as we talk about all things horror. And I'm super excited to jump in today's scare show. But before we do, I want to make sure I remind y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram, check out our past episodes. And there's a lot of scary movies, a lot of good stuff coming up. We
Yes,
got
sir.
Halloween next month. So we excited. I know I'm definitely going to be doing my Halloween contest for the horror films, and I hope y'all jump on board as well. Let's dig into it, Paul. I'm super excited to talk about our new release. What was it?
Yes, a new release. We're both so excited about. It was The Long Walk.
Yes, sir.
All
Great.
right. So The Long Walk, a dystopian thriller slash horror based on the novel of the same name by Stephen King. The novel was published in 1979 under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. The Long Walk was his first novel he ever wrote. He wrote it back in 1966 during his freshman year at the University of Maine. About
Mm.
8 years earlier, 8 years before his first published novel, which was The Magnificent Carrie.
Carrie, let's go.
uh, so the film, though, was directed by Francis Lawrence from a screenplay by J.T. Moeller. And for our listeners and viewers that don't know, there is the Stephen King novel, which they have that adapted the screenplay from. But I'm gonna have Danny explain a little bit better because the actual movie was based on the screenplay, right, Danny?
Yes. So the novel some things transition from the novel to the film. However, it's based on J.T. Mulner's adaptation of the novel. So, for those of you Stephen King fans out there, don't go in there expecting, that transition to be 100% from the novel. There are some different tweaks and different risks and stakes that they added along the way.
Yes, that is exactly correct. And we're going to get into that a little bit.
Yes,
The
sir.
core of the novel and the movie are it's pretty much the same. There's just a
Right.
little differences here and there. But basically, and this is the movie I'm referring to. There are 50 teenagers who are selected to enter an annual contest where the winner will be awarded a cash prize and granted one wish. So the game is simple: maintain a steady walking pace of 3 miles per hour without stopping. If you stop, Danny, what do you get?
You get your first warning.
That's your first warning, which in the movie they refer to it as a ticket.
Yeah.
And if you get three warnings, three tickets, you are out permanently. Third ticket out, you out of there. Um, so a couple of differences since we're already talking about that. The novel, which some may know, there was originally 100 teenagers, and the miles per hour was actually 4 miles per hour. So they reduced it for the film just to make it more realistic. All right. So what I'm excited about, Danny, is getting into the performances, the
Yes.
actors. So let's do it. Let's
Very
dive in.
good, very great performances, very grounded.
Yeah. So probably our most notable actors were Mark Hamill and Judy Greer.
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill played the major. Judy Greer played Miss Garrity, who was one of the lead's moms. And bro, like Mark, he played the major. The major wasn't in the movie every second, every minute, even, he made appearances here and there. But he was great. Like, what I mean? He served as that like antagonist. And his presence definitely hovered over the entire movie. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, what do you think about
Yeah.
the major?
It it was a incredible performance. Mark Hamill, the OG, Luke Skywalker, and Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yes, sir.
Just respect, huge respect. But yeah, he dominated every scene he was in. He's a key component to the operation of the long walk.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he wasn't he didn't have a lot of screen time. Every scene he was in, you can just feel his presence, and even when his name was mentioned, you can just feel it,
Yup, that part.
him running the operation. So it was crazy.
But who stole the show?
Yes, let's
Judy
get
Greer.
into it.
Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
So, Dan and I are obviously fans of Judy Greer. We talked about our last episode, a couple of episodes prior to that. Um, you know,
Yeah,
her, ton of movies. She's versatile. She's great. But I mean, just the beginning, man. Like her and Ray, her son, the emotion that she was going through, just
right.
that entire scene, it just had me. I was like, okay, like it drew me in right away. What about
Man,
you?
from the car ride to the hug, the not letting go, knowing what was at stake. It was just incredible. And Judy Greer, for one thing, she's very underrated as an
Mm-hmm.
actor.
Yep.
But she's definitely one of those people that they'll be like, the familiar face. They're like, oh, I've seen her, but no one really knows her name. That's Judy Greer, but she's just everything. She has such great performances throughout this entire film. And um we'll get into it more later, but when she came to see him and running or walking, and I'm just like, you didn't show up with nothing. You just came with a handkerchief and tears. Like, what is going on? Like, come on, bring him a care package, like some sandwiches, some new shoes. Like, come
Man,
on,
she
man.
knew.
Like, I was like, I was a little upset at her for that. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, no, performances is great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other actors.
Yeah. Let's do it. So, one of the leads we had, Cooper Hoffman, who played Ray Garrity. And it's kind of
Yes.
funny for, those of you that don't know, his dad is actually Philip Hoffman,
Hmm.
who saying he was in The Hunger Games, Along Came Polly, Twister, The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
So he's been out there for a minute. So it's kind of cool to see, his son in this movie in such a role like this.
Yes. Yes. May he rest in peace for sure.
Yes, yes. And second, I guess the second lead was David Johnson, who played Pete McVries.
Good old Pete. Yep.
Yep, hip
Yeah.
tap to him. Both of them did excellent.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and these actors that we're talking about right now, they haven't played a lot of roles and done a lot of movies, but we're going to mention some of them that we have seen them in. So
Yeah.
Garrett Waring, who played Stubbins, who was also the major son or one of them. He was in
So,
Manifest, which was an excellent movie. I mean, excuse me, TV show. There was like 4 seasons of that.
hmm
Pretty Little Liars, and then Jordan Gonzalez. He's actually um, so he stepped on like kind of the platform movies and stuff like that more recently. I think it's been in the last like 5 years or so. Um, and he is trans, and I think his first like big TV role was Pretty Little Liars on HBO,
hmm
and he did such a great job. It was just a supporting role, but they brought him back for season 2 and everything because everyone liked him, and he was good in this movie too.
Yeah.
And then Ben Wang,
Ben Wayne.
who
Yeah.
played Hank Olson, who grabbed our hearts right immediately. He was like that funny,
Immediate
like,
Southern
um,
accent. It was
yeah, that
crazy.
comedic relief type person. But he
Yeah.
was in Karate Kid Legends.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone did good. Everybody, like when they're on screen, they killed it. I mean, I have standout moments that we are going to get into, but I don't really have like a performance per se. I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think same. I feel the same. There were great performances of everyone, honestly. They did such a great job, and we were talking about this last episode that it was literally going to be the backstories and of these
Mhm.
characters and the characters' relationships that
Yep.
really drive this film, and it did.
Mhm.
You fell in love with some of these characters, and they did such a great job. The chemistry was there, the camaraderie was there. Obviously, I feel, they wanted you to focus on Pete and Ray's relationship the most, and that it did just a great job at doing that. Um, and just seeing them within these 5 days, man, 331 miles of what it can do. So, but I want to ask you because this is I love the dystopia, type of a world that they built here, Steven Spielberg and JT. Um, and Hunger Games, it was a lot of Hunger Game vibes with the director. How do you feel? How far would you been able to go, do you feel? 33, 331 miles,
Yeah,
five
really.
days.
Right. 5 whole days of walking. Um,
Wild. It's wild.
yeah, it is. It's extremely wild. I think honestly, I would be able to go quite a bit. I think I would be able to go a while. What would what would concern me the most, and I don't know how I would have handled it. I would have had to be put in that situation,
Yes, of course.
was, the rain. So
Yeah,
it rained
yeah,
for almost an entire day. I think it was maybe day three, 2 or 3,
yeah.
but it rained, and just like the idea of having soaking wet clothes and having to dry on you. And then I think it rained again after that. Just going through that, I hate the feeling of wet clothes on me like that. And then you get sick,
Yeah,
from that. I don't know
yeah,
how
I
I would
get
have
sick.
handled that for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
no, it's
like, I was thinking, I was like, so, like, a lot of the boys brought like extra pairs of shoes and stuff. I was
right.
like, could you have brought an umbrella or something,
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because I've been
Which
cool
leads
then.
which leads me back to Ray's mom. Why didn't you give him that? Why did you bring nothing when you saw him? Like he was the only one that had that upper hand of seeing him out, which they said in the film, you know, it could be worse, having family there. And then
Mhm.
as the guy that was antagonizing him was like, yeah, it's better for you because you have family. So,
Yeah.
I can see both sides. So yeah, when Peter had turned around to pee, the first thing I thought about, I was like, oh, someone better not have to take it down. Like they better they better not like what's gonna happen? And then
Yeah.
lo and behold, like a couple scenes later, it
Yeah.
happened. It
I
was crazy.
literally, that's the first, well, that's like one of the things I first thought about when they
Yeah,
started, because
yeah,
I was like, all right, I don't see any porta potties. I don't see
yeah,
like, I didn't see anyone like like doing any of that stuff. And I was just like, and they don't like, the rules, they said do is like, I read the rule book and stuff like that. There's nothing about breaks. So I was like, they're going to have to do that on the way.
oh yeah,
And they're kind of
oh
like at a disadvantage, right? Because that counts towards, it could be a ticket because you're slowing down, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
literally
You're
have to
slowing
like,
down. Could
if
be
you
your first warning.
yeah, if you have to take a crap, then you literally have to like do is like pinch it out and keep going.
I mean, at that point, you just gotta walk while you're doing it, like
That's
and just
what a lot of them were doing. They
squat,
were like, y'all
squattle,
slow. But
squattle, and then just keep going.
yo, um,
And
so I want to talk about some of the like just the relationships and stuff, some of the stuff we kind of saw, because I felt, obviously that was kind of the driving force behind the whole movie. Obviously at the core you had the walk and what it entailed and everything, but the driving force of the movie was the actual relationships, the backstory, stuff like that. So
yeah.
do you feel um, that the writer did a good job in like kind of covering all that, or do you think it could have been more fleshed out? Like, what do you think?
Honestly, I think I think the writer did an amazing job building the Musketeers. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, they created this bond, they created this group, they created these relationships because that's what that's what we're gonna do, right? Even at the towards the end, when I forget. I think it was I can't remember what he was, but he ends yeah 5. He ends up committing suicide, but at the end he like wants to be a part of the group. He's going crazy, going mad. So I think I love how it covered that. I also loved how it covered at the end of the day. There's only one of us coming out of here alive. so it also had that moment of like competitiveness, but at the end of the day, it's like we're in this together. We're gonna try to survive as long as we can. And I love that. I love that bond
Yeah.
that it created.
I like that
Um,
too because it was definitely like a tension, an inherent tension. Um,
yeah,
but that definitely you're doing this for a reason, right? The prize, which they kind of talked about what they would do with it. Some of them had like deeper, explanations as to what they would do and what they wanted. And some of them was more, surface level. But they're all doing it for that. So there's a competition aspect. But then at the
yeah,
same time, there was, this, like you said at the beginning, there's a camaraderie that formed and like these connections. And there were some individuals who started the walk wanting that and
yeah,
immediately
exactly.
guided, like went towards that. And then there's others who were like, no, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna, do what I have to do,
Mhm.
and that's it. Even but then you see like later in the movie them slowly coming towards, I want that connection too, because
Mhm.
once you start going through everything, no one else will know what you're going through. No one else has experienced this, and
Right,
you have that connection with that particular person, those people that went through it, and that's what creates a bond essentially.
exactly. And
Um,
I wouldn't like it never talked about how much the money was, for one.
right,
And you get
right,
your wish.
yeah.
Okay. But it's like, yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot to uncover. Um, going through all of that they had to go through. The biggest thing for me was there was no finish line. So
Mhm.
that was the biggest thing that was like hanging over me. I was like, okay, if they had a destination to get to and it was just a long walk, then okay, but this is like this is like an infinity walk, you know what I mean? This is everlasting walk. Um, until it got to the last, last one. So
What I would like to know is like in previous years, how many, what was the record mileage? That's what I would have liked to know.
the
You
record
know,
mileage, that would have been kind of, yeah, that would have been
if
nice.
like
And
if the major before they started, like, all right, well, last year's winner went to,
it's like
600 or something.
it's like you're by the time you finish, you got all this money, but you gone through, you got trauma up the yin yang. You're probably half dead, malnutrition, like you have all these things. It's like
Yeah.
it's gonna take you a good few months to even get back to like
Well, shoot, with all that money, you
how
can like
it's
get
crazy.
get yourself an IV thing. You
What if it's like
can.
what if it's like a couple thousand? It's like what? I'm like, what is this?
Now, old boy said it was life changing, so shoot, it
I
might have been
know,
like in the millions.
but it's
Um,
life changing, yeah.
so, so like I kind of want to talk about this because um initially, like, because we talked about the last episode, we hadn't read the book at all. We knew about it but hadn't like read it. So we I know for me, I didn't know initially that the long walk, everyone knew what the stakes were. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
didn't know that they knew that they would die. They,
Right.
most of them
Yeah.
would die. I hadn't known that. So that's when the first death happened with what was his name? With
Curly.
Curly. The first death happened. He had a Charlie horse. Um, and Ray, and it's crazy because even though Ray knew and all of them knew that they would die, if that happened, you still saw Ray's face and he still looked like, wow, this is real.
Oh
This
yeah.
is
Yeah.
because they zoomed in on Ray's face when Curly got
Hmm.
shot, and then his face just looked like in disbelief, like, wow, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even though they knew what the stakes were, like seeing it obviously made it more real for them, or at least
Yeah.
for Ray in that situation. So for me, I don't really know if because I was trying to think, I'm like, would I have liked it better if they didn't know? Because I feel like it's that element of kind of like, like fear, horror. Like, I feel like there would have been more of a rebellion. We got a little small rebellion from Parker. Um, but I feel like there would have been more of like a rebellion if they had not known. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I mean, since it's televised and there's spectators and everything, obviously,
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
knows what the outcome would potentially be. But
Right.
yeah, what did you think of like when you first saw the first kill and everything?
Yeah, so I figured I assumed that they all knew just because of um things I picked up on the trailer, and then Hunger Games being, that type of dystopia type vibes too, with all um the different ones going in and committing going to tribute. Sorry. I didn't really read into the book. I didn't do anything like that. I just saw the trailer and then read the synopsis and then went in there just like, okay, surprised me. So some things were predictable, but
Mhm.
for the most part, it was like, oh my God. So that the first kid killed Curly, I was still these skills were like, like they had you kind of like going like this, I mean, like, kind of like how is this gonna go down? Uh, how they killed. They didn't just shoot him in the head, they shot his face off,
Mhm.
so it can be more intimidating to everyone else. Just how they had old boy just bleed out. It was just kind of crazy. I see what you're saying. If that element of not knowing would be cool. If it was like one of those things where like, oh, it's the first time it's happening, or they're going to a remote place just
Yeah,
for a contest,
kind of like yeah,
something
kind
like
of like
that.
Squid Game.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, this like been going on. I would like to know how long,
Mhm.
you know. And I don't know. This might open for sequels. You know what I mean? Because in films like this, you can just change all casts. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to have any same, whatever. You can have cameos, but yeah, it was crazy. I like how they really showed you these deaths too. They didn't stay away from that. That
Hmm.
was nice. That was
Yeah.
nice. I was actually surprised at the generous like the warnings. The warnings are kind of long,
Yeah, yeah, it's like they count like
They're,
5 or 6. I think it's like
yeah,
5 or 6 seconds, something like that.
right. And so, I was kind of surprised with that, so that's good. But, they had parts where they had to go uphill
That
and,
was that
like you
was
said,
terrible.
that was terrible. Like you said, the rain,
Be-
um,
because
and
so going uphill, obviously you have to walk faster because the
right.
pace will be drawn up and everything,
I
the
know.
miles per
Yeah.
hour. So that's why you saw everyone charging up there as fast as
Yeah.
they could.
And then they lost about 12 people, he said.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, who's cleaning up all these bodies too? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who,
Right.
who's cleaning up all these bodies?
Right.
Um, but and then we have, certain things that happen to the characters that we learn about along the way. Like, I can't remember the number, but I call him the novelist because he's gonna write this book,
Oh
Insider
yeah.
book, which is a great idea, by the way. Um,
I
I
think
was like,
his
even if you
name was
don't get out.
Larson.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, even if you don't give it out, get out, just pass it on to
Hmm.
people so they can keep it, so it can just be, whatever. Making it with a broken foot. He walked a good 15 miles. I was like adding it up. I was like, because I saw when he broke it, I was like, he's still going. He
Hmm.
stayed over 3 miles an hour for 15 more miles, and like he just couldn't do it anymore. That was crazy. You know,
Yeah.
um, and the whole shot in the stomach with Hanson, like it or Austin, it's just like it was a lot of things that happened to these characters that we grew to like,
Hmm.
and it was like, oh man, you know what I mean? Because only one's gonna make it, so
Yeah.
that kind of sucked.
Right. So what was like the worst death for you? What was the one you were like, oh man?
Um, I would say the worst death was Olsen. Um, yeah, I would say he got that one just because of what it meant. Um, obviously we grew to love him right when we first saw him, his character, and just to see him go out like that, screaming, um, but with his head held high, like he didn't go out
Mhm.
the way you would think he would go out. And then,
And what did he
uh,
say? He like screamed, I did it wrong" or something.
yeah, I did it wrong. Yeah, I kept saying I did it wrong. Um, and I can't remember. what's his name? I call him I called him Passer, but when Passer went back and he was willing to almost die,
To save
it was
him.
just such a strong moment, and I think that's what really got me about that kill. There were other kills that were just like got me too, but that one, yeah, stood out. What about you?
Yeah, that one I agree with you because the Musketeers, even though it's four of them,
Yeah,
that was the first one to basically bite it. So
yeah,
that was kind of tough and difficult for them. But honestly, the one that like made me uh, just like, oh crap, man, and like just constantly thinking about it. Because all of a sudden I saw it coming that he was drained and
yeah.
he was it was
Oh
not gonna
yeah,
work, like what I'm saying. But like when Baker when he died, you know what I mean. So
oh
he
yeah,
was, yeah,
yeah,
he was leaning on Pete and Ray's shoulders and stuff, and he's just like, y'all, like,
yeah,
this is it, I'm not gonna make it. And they were like, just
yeah,
walk a little bit longer, walk a little more. He's like, and then like he was just talking to them, like he was like, you made some friends. He was like, that's all I ever wanted. And
yeah.
it was just crazy. And that
That
so
was
that
touching.
yeah, that death was just like, ugh,
That was really
yeah,
touching. A really touching moment.
yeah.
Those are like, yeah, definitely my two favorite ones. Not, I mean, not when you say favorite, I mean more,
I know what you meant.
impactful. They were definitely impactful, and they were,
Yeah.
um, but he said, "Don't look at me." So it
Hmm.
was like less. It was like less more in your face,
Hmm.
but the verbal exchange and the physical aspect of it was crazy.
Yeah.
When Baker revolted, I was like, why can't you just keep shooting? He just stopped shooting after he shot I mean, not Baker, what is his name? Parker?
Parker.
Yeah. Parker, when Parker started
Yeah,
shooting,
I hit. Yeah.
I was like, that's what I've been waiting for y'all to
Yep.
do in this whole time.
Yep.
And he just stopped
He
shooting.
stopped.
And
He could have
that's when
got
they
those two
got
right
him.
there. And
You could have got them right there, threw
mhm.
the gun back to homeboy. Like, I don't know what y'all would have done after that because everyone would have been looking for you, but at least it got you some time
Right.
to
You
do
could have had a
something.
seat, sit down, something.
I just don't get it. I was like, come on,
Yeah.
Frank. But his death scene was pretty impactful too. Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, he chose to take himself out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which, um, his character itself, just like everything he represented, um, it kind of it went with his character. Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
it
say.
definitely
Like
did.
how he went out.
It
I
definitely
liked him
did.
too. I like honestly. Um, and even Barkovich, even he got
Yeah, yeah,
even though he got Rank killed, because he was making fun of his name, started talking about his mom and everything,
yeah.
and Rank ended up falling and
That was pretty rough.
yeah,
That
hurting
was rough.
himself, and then he inadvertently got him killed, which
Right.
basically set the tone for his downward spiral. And I
Yeah.
thought his death was very like impactful too, um,
Oof.
because you can tell like that the fatigue, like the hysteria was setting in and everything like that, because he just kept freaking out and he couldn't let any it go. Like he screamed at Pete, and then he's like he keeps thinking about what he did to Rank and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously once you're that exhausted and your mental starts to diminish, like everything's gonna just be worse. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's ultimately what got him killed. I feel like it was kind of that guilty conscience.
Oh yeah, for sure. It created a monster, he was traumatized. Because he really didn't want to get him killed.
Right.
But it,
He was
it
just
was just like
being that, that
being
dick.
an asshole. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There
So
has to be one of them.
exactly. So and as we wrap up this amazing film,
Yeah.
let's talk about Ray's plan that kind of drove, him because I feel like, obviously the two, main characters, Pete and Ray, they the last one to survive. Pete been walking all his life, as he mentioned,
Yeah.
which is, his backstory was incredible. And then Ray, pretty much there to avenge his father's death.
Hmm.
So, they both have the biggest and greatest objectives that pulled them to finish this. So, let's talk about Ray's plan and how Pete carried out. How was that for you watching that end
Mhm.
scene? Very powerful scene.
Yeah, definitely. So honestly, um, I saw it coming. It was a little predictable. What
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't see coming was that Ray was going to immediately stand back. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
That's got me. That one got
yeah,
me.
like he, obviously helps Pete up and says, "No, walk with me a little bit longer." But as soon as he helps Pete up, he stops. And I didn't see
Yeah.
that. I thought they were gonna walk a little bit more, maybe have another conversation and stuff. So when that happened, I was just like, "Whoa," you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was just so intense because, obviously, I can imagine how Pete felt in that moment. You know what I mean? You can tell
Yeah.
it on his face, and I thought he did excellent with that scene.
Yeah.
And just how I knew that he was gonna obviously do Ray's last wish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
how it was gonna end because remember, if you recall, neither did Ray. So
Right.
when Ray initially tells Pete of his plan, Pete's like, "Don't you just think they're gonna shoot you dead after you do that?" And he was like, "It's uncharted territory. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't
Yeah.
care." Essentially.
Right.
So when Pete did it, I was kind of like just waiting to see like what's gonna happen, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen, and then he just walks off. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great last scene. Um, very, very intense and very impactful, especially all the spectators watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It was incredible at last scene. Yeah, Ray got me when he stood back. That got me too. And just seeing him get shot, saying sorry to his mom.
Mhm.
Um, and then they just did a great job in that performance. And then P, yeah, shooting the general, and it was nice. It was just poetic. It was a poetic moment. And then, I figured, okay, since nothing's happening to him, the uncharted territory, once you win, you're untouchable.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, Hunger Games. You can't be put back into the Hunger Games once you win until they met, they did that little, that little side note, made a new rule type situation. But I loved how everyone disappeared too. It
Mhm.
was just him. It was
Yep.
him, the
In the
street,
rain.
and the rain, and
Yeah.
going to walk because he's been walking all his life. Like
Yep.
it was just showed. It was very poetic. I loved how they ended it.
Yeah, it was there were so many like just like correlations and like how they wrapped it up was so good because also Stebbins, right before he was about to give up, he
Yeah,
was just like, you think it's gonna rain, and they
yeah,
start talking about that. And that was that was like that was symbolic there.
yeah.
Because literally after he killed himself, it started raining. I mean, he didn't kill himself, but
Mhm.
after he gave up,
Gave up. Yeah,
it started raining. And then basically the ending, that's how it occurred too. So it was just a
yeah,
lot of like you said, like poeticness. It's just like
yeah.
very like
No, for
symbolic,
sure.
like just good stuff. It was good,
Very good. Very good.
and it kept you engaged. The
It
entire time.
did
There was never a moment I was just like, all right, get this going. Like, what's going on? You know,
exactly.
there was never even a
Yeah.
moment. Like, it was good.
And relatable, and you can put yourself in these shoes. You're like, what if I was on this long walk?
Oh
It's
yeah,
crazy.
I feel
So,
like every person that watched that movie can pick someone out of there that they would be. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, for
From
sure.
personality, from like backstory, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely y'all check out The Long Walk. It's incredible. So honestly, I would give it an A. It was just some parts were a little predictable,
Yeah,
so that's why it doesn't get the A plus, but A.
yeah.
Definitely, I see it again. I could definitely see myself, acting in something like this too. Like I
Hmm.
really just felt like I was in the scene and I can just be in the scene with them as the guys. Like
Yeah,
it just felt so. It was such a good film.
yeah.
Y'all check it out. What did you get it?
I agree. I gave it an A too. Honestly,
Yeah,
I could see myself doing something like this. It's just so
right.
like cool and like relatable, and it's just like obviously it's like You're just walking with your boys until things go sideways. But you know they're gonna
Yeah.
go sideways at some point,
Well, you know what it's going to. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But you
So
know
it's
what I
just
mean?
like, when will
And
it
like
happen?
the countryside aspect of it too. I don't know about you, but it just created more of like a homey, like
Yeah.
more tranquil rural vibe
Yeah.
because it's like you have nothing but yourselves. Like this
Right.
is it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
isolation.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, in a lot of stuff, like in again, symbolism. That was it an
yes.
ox, that dead ox at the beginning,
Yeah.
like when
Yeah.
before they even started. The burning truck, like just a bunch of like stuff. And then, like you said, it's just like, and I forgot someone said it, but they're like, it's so desolate out here.
Yeah. They
Um,
did. Yeah.
yeah, so it's what I mean, like it's just all that played a role into it and created the entire vibe and tone of the movie, which was great. So,
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 90%.
90%, yeah, well done. And I agree. I give them the flowers. Go check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, please go support it.
Yes,
The Long Walk, a lot of great young actors that are definitely going to be hitting it after this because they all did great. And it's doing well in theaters as well. So go check it out for sure.
yes,
So
sir.
that brings us to our classic. We talk about our classics on our scare shows, bringing up the same thing um, as our new release. So we mentioned it multiple times in this scare episode already. Hunger Games is our classic today. We're going to hone in on. All right. So Hunger Games
2012.
is came out, yeah, 2012. Amazing film. Okay, I know, Paul. You know, you feel you you're not a huge fan, but you know a little something.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I like the Hunger Games. It wasn't one of those movies that I would watch repeatedly.
right,
So I've only seen them like once. But for those of our listeners that don't know or haven't seen it, it's a televised competition in which two teenagers from each of the 12 districts of Panem are chosen at random to fight to the death. So a lot of similarity here, to an extent.
yep.
So Danny,
Very.
what, tell us about it. What'd you like so much about it?
You're a mess. Well, first and foremost, my girl J Law, Jennifer Lawrence,
Yeah,
killed it in this film. It was just a breakout film, just an amazing survival dystopian film, same in the same regards as Long Walk, originally written by Suzanne Collins. And this one, they actually adapted it off the novel. So it's not
it's a
adapted off
direct
of screen.
adaptation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
direct adaptation of the novel. It's not off a screenplay. And so she was actually in the process of in each process of the film making process. And it's just so good. They have the tribute, they have different divisions. Some of them have been destroyed. Different districts. There's 12 districts. The 13th district was destroyed because of rebellion. And it's just like they're all competing to the death in these games to for prize money, to life-changing prize money for the capital, which are just all oligarchical, rich, stuck up people who just want to see people die. So and they're all kids. We had I think the youngest was I want to say 9 years old. So it was like
crazy.
it was yeah, it's an incredible film. If you haven't seen The Hunger Games, I would say really, really check it out. Philip Seymour Hoffman, my girl J Law, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Stanley Tucci. It's a studded cast, star-studded cast, and they did go on to make Hunger Games 2 and 3
Yep.
based off the novels as well. Um, but yeah, what did you feel when you saw? So you've seen all of them, right?
Once.
Okay, yeah, one at least once. Um, you know, how did you feel when you first saw, did you understand the story? Yeah, what was the your vibes when you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked it. It was definitely kind of like this different type feel, to movies that I've, obviously seen before. Um, and it did keep me engaged. So that's a good
Yeah,
thing, I guess.
that's good.
Uh, but yeah, I love Trevor Lawrence too. So, you know what I mean? And then what's his name? Oh boy. What's his name?
Donald Sutherland, Jack Quaid.
Yeah, Jack Quaid. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jack
yeah, yeah.
Quaid. He's cool. And
And
Liam
Woody
too.
Harrelson,
Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, so they had a good cast in there.
very good
Um,
cast.
but yeah, I felt like it's one of those movies I felt like as it kept going, I was just like, all right, it's kind of losing interest. It's just one of those. Just my opinion though.
Yeah, it's kind of like so it's yeah, it's drawn out, the rebellion is drawn out more so, because then you have uh Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, I forget his name, but you have him end up, infiltrating and he ends up turning against, the President Snow. Like it's just like all that is drawn out in three films.
Mhm.
Um, which I feel like The Long Walk can have something similar, even if they go for a series route where you start seeing this rebellion, you start against this thing because that's rough. You know what I mean? At least you're in Hunger Games, you're like fight, you're competing against each other, but you're like killing each other. The whole thing is to kill each other.
Mhm.
This one you're like literally walk or be shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just like a
Mhm.
really it's a different mindset. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
of course,
just to think about, the number of miles that they went through. You know, what I mean,
right.
if you do a series, you can get an episode for like each 5 miles or something. You know
Oh
what
my
I
God, it's
mean?
crazy. It's like it's literally Chicago, from Chicago to Columbus, Ohio. I was looking at it, it was like that's 345 miles. I was
Yeah,
just like that, imagine walking from there to there. That's insane. And of course, The Hunger Games is not a, horror thriller. It's more of a thriller, action. But that's automatically what I thought of, especially with, the director Francis Lawrence.
for
So,
sure.
but yeah, that's our classic, guys. If you have not seen The Hunger Games, go check it out. It's definitely a
Mhm.
good one to watch. We got a new one coming up next year, so
Yep.
stay tuned. Um, but let's get into our upcoming film. We got an upcoming film that we want to check out this weekend. What is it?
We do. So our upcoming film is called Him.
There it
So
is.
excuse me, basically, a young athlete descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something much, much darker. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All
So
right.
yeah, Danny, tell us about, the director and writers and stuff in this for this particular film.
Yeah, so let's get into it. We got one of the producers, as we all know and love, Jordan Peele. His production company, Monkey Paw Productions, is heading this one. He's got a few more producers in there, but the screenplay is written by Tipping, um, and Skip Bronke and Zachary Akers. So Justin's also directing it. Now, this is kind of gonna be his first like hoorah. He's done some other like smaller projects, but this is gonna be a really, really great experience for him. I'm excited for him because whenever someone's able to get into a seat like this for the first time, it's a great experience. And the other screenwriters, they're also kind of newer in the game too. Well, as far as this level of the game, and so good people behind this. And Ian Cooper, also produced um, Candyman and Nope and Us with Jordan Peele. But yeah, I'm interested to see the trailer. You want to check out the trailer real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do I look at you or the
You'll
camera?
just look right at me. You'll just ignore the camera.
Okay.
There are a lot of people saying you could be the next great quarterback.
I can already see it now.
Cam running down the tunnel with the crowd chanting his name.
I hear you've been invited to train with legend Isaiah White himself. Care to elaborate?
I want to be the GOAT.
Cameron King. Great meeting you. I'm a fan.
That's crazy. I damn near worshiped you growing up.
Who are you?
I'm him.
Who are you?
I'm him. My time.
Let's play a little catch. We going to the man! You want to play at your highest level? You want to be a legend? Let me tell you something. This ain't a game. Who are they? Just gonna toss the ball around a little. You wanna hit this? You can't handle it. I understand. Oh, too slow.
Wait, what are we doing?
That man's smile about to be on the floor. This is how you do your teammate?
What is this?
Set hard! Eagle lurks, enemies, set hard! Set hard! Set hard! In this game, violence is rewarded, so learn to enjoy it. Get your shit together! Activate my hip.
Cam, are you okay?
I think something's off.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Now we playing some football!
Don't have to do this.
Activate my hip.
I've never been more certain of anything in my life.
And how bad does Cameron Cade want it? I ain't a killer, but don't push me. I'm not just gonna give it to you. You got to take it from me. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
What if I say no?
Run. Think of it as a gift from the God. But don't push me. So what are you willing to sacrifice?
Okay, all right. So very interesting. I'm not getting exactly what it's about. Probably just the trigger. That's just kind of what and I'm gonna be honest. I love Marlon Wayans.
Right.
You know, that's my boy.
He's never been in like a horror thriller, I don't think.
I was gonna say this is kind of like his first horror thriller. His first kind of like more so um serious role was what Ma Rainey's, I think.
Mm,
And so this is gonna be our first time seeing him in this type of genre.
yeah.
So
In this
I'm
setting.
I'm like, okay, that's something interesting. So yeah, I feel like it's from the trailer, it's gonna be either one of those films I love or I just don't mess with.
You wish you didn't sit down to see.
How do you feel about that trailer?
Yeah, exact same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know I don't know what to make of it. Like it
I don't either.
it looks creepy,
Know what to make of it.
yeah, it looks creepy, it looks strange. I just don't know where it's going. So I'm very interested and I hope it works out.
I hope it works out too. So we're gonna support it. All right. It comes out September 19th and check it out.
Let's
It's
do it.
him.
Him.
I'm him. I'm him. Okay. All right, so let's wrap this scare soda up with our trivia question. As you know, you can always play along at home. This trivia question is going to be about our classic Hunger Games.
Okay.
I guess I'll go and let's see what you're made of, Polly.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So.
This might be rough.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Who portrays Katniss Everdeen's stylist? So Jennifer Lawrence's character, Katniss Everdeen's stylist in the film Senna. The name is Senna. You got multiple choice.
Okay.
Is it Stanley Tucci, Effie Trinket, which was Elizabeth Banks,
Like who?
or was it Lenny Kravitz? So played Cinna, Katniss Everdeen's stylist in Hunger Games. Was it Stanley Tucci, Elizabeth Banks, or Lenny Kravitz?
C. Lenny Kravitz.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, you gonna go with C?
Yeah.
All right, you are right. Lenny
Hey.
Kravitz, Cinna. Let's go. I also said Effie, so I kind of messed up.
Wait,
Hey.
what? What happened? Was it
I said
wrong?
I said I also messed up and said Elizabeth Banks' name was Effie. I don't know if you got that or not.
Do you hear me? I was like, Elizabeth Banks.
That's the actor's name that played Effie.
Yeah,
I
I
love
was
her by the
like,
way. She's amazing. But yeah, Lenny Kravitz played Cinna, Katniss Everdeen's stylist,
hell
and yeah,
yeah, see?
his death was a hard one.
All right, now for my question.
All right,
This is a super easy one, especially
all
I
right.
mean it
It
should
better
be,
be.
especially for you. All right, ready?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
As you know, I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna be all extra about it. As you know, there were 13 districts. One was destroyed. Which district did the main character, Katniss, belong to? Where was she from?
District 12. Let's go. Final
There you
answer.
go. All right. Good job. All right. We killed that. We
Let's
killed
go.
that.
Mockingjay, the Mockingjay, District 12. Let's go.
The
All right.
Mockingjay.
Good work. We are amazing as always, getting them right.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining us on today's Scaresode. If you have
Yes.
not checked The Long Walk Out, do it.
Yes, please do. It's an amazing
Now.
film. Well, I'd see it again.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
now
Honestly, I would go see it
I'd see it
again.
again.
It
It's
was
so it's
dope.
such a good film.
Yeah, definitely was. They did a great job. Um, so you will not be disappointed on that. Check out our classic. If you have not, Hunger Games, I mean, first Hunger Games was 2012. And this Friday, him.
Let's go. Check it out. Support.
Yep, go ahead and support. We don't know what to expect, but I mean, that makes it fun. That makes it interesting. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
Exactly. Exactly.
Danny, where can they find you?
All right, y'all. You can find me everywhere at I am Danny Royce.
All right, you guys can find me at Powerful Boys and I1. Again, thank you guys so much. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow us. Okay, and thank you so much. See you next time.
See you next year. So peace.